Well, the big franchises are back in full force this year. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. It's the first week of the new year, so that means it's time to look ahead and talk about my most anticipated movies of 2023. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. Just like last year, I decided to stick with only 12 movies for this video, but there are quite a few that I'm really looking forward to this year. We'll see how this year's movie release schedule fares after the last few years of rescheduling chaos, so this is only my most anticipated based on release dates that are scheduled as of this first week of January. I'm not going to try to rank my anticipation for any of these movies, so these are just going to be presented in order of current US release date. Remember, these are just my personal anticipated movies, and I imagine your list might look a bit different, so be sure to post your own most anticipated movies of 2023 in the comments below. Kicking things off with a January 6th release date, we've got Gerard Johnston's Megan. This sci-fi horror film stars Allison Williams and Violet McGraw and focuses on an AI-enhanced doll that's been tasked with protecting a young girl. This doll, of course, becomes self-aware, though, and takes her protective assignment to the extreme, in the vein of other killer doll movies like Child's Play. Based on the trailers, this one looks like it's going to be a good blend of creepy and sort of funny, so it seems like it should be a lot of fun. Next up is Eileen, which will be premiering at Sundance on January 21st. There isn't currently a wide release date scheduled yet, but I'm including it here in the list because I'm going to Sundance and already have my tickets pre-ordered, so I should be seeing this one around this time. This movie is based on the 2015 novel by Ottessa Moshfegh, which I haven't read, and is directed by William Oldroyd. Set in the 1960s, it tells the story of Eileen, an unhappy prison secretary, played by Thomasin McKenzie, who befriends her coworker, played by Anne Hathaway. But this friendship isn't all that it appears, and it seems like it's going to take a dark and criminal turn. Having not read the book, I really don't know where the story is going to go exactly, but it's definitely got me intrigued. Rounding out January is Infinity Pool, releasing on January 27th. This is another Sundance movie, which I already have my ticket for, so I'll actually be able to see this one a few days before then. This one is directed by Brandon Cronenberg and stars Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth. It's a sci-fi horror thriller that focuses on a couple staying at an island resort. However, they leave the resort grounds and find themselves involved in a crime and the very unique criminal justice system of this island. This movie looks pretty wild, and if Cronenberg's past films, like Possessor in 2020, are any indication, this will probably also have some pretty intense body horror to it. These types of movies can go either way for me, so I'm hoping it goes the way that Possessor did, because I really enjoyed that one. Next up is Knock at the Cabin, coming out on February 3rd. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan and starring Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, and Ben Aldridge, this movie seems like it's going to be an apocalyptic psychological horror film. This is another one that's based on a book, which, once again, I have not read. It focuses on a family staying at a remote cabin in the woods who find themselves held hostage by a group of strangers who tell them that they need to sacrifice one of their own in order to prevent the apocalypse. I know he certainly has his detractors, but I tend to like Shyamalan's movies, and this is another one that has a really interesting, strange premise. It's basically his take on the cabin in the woods genre, and I'm really curious to see what he does with it and what the inevitable twist is going to be. Set to release on February 24th is Elizabeth Banks's Cocaine Bear. Okay, I live in Maine, I studied and worked with black bears, I rate all of my movies using bear paws, I've got Oscar the Black Bear in all of my videos. How could I not put this movie on my most anticipated list? This dark comedy thriller is extremely loosely based on a true story, and stars an ensemble cast which includes people like Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and Ray Liotta. So this movie sounds completely insane, and it's about a black bear that eats a duffel bag full of cocaine and ends up going on a drug-induced rampage. It's basically a When Animals Attack movie crossed with Crank, with a lot of dark humor thrown in. Next up is John Wick Chapter 4, once again directed by Chad Stahelski. Releasing on March 24th, this film stars Keanu Reeves and the rest of the cast we've become familiar with over the last decade. This is, obviously, part 4 of the John Wick tale, and I'm really excited for this one. This is an extremely entertaining series for me. The world building, the increasingly more complex storyline, and of course, the superb action. Those long takes and impressively choreographed gun fu never get old for me, so I can't wait for some more of it, or to see where the story takes Wick next. Jumping ahead to May, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, landing in theaters on May 5th. Directed by James Gunn, this 32nd film in the MCU follows up the 2 previous Guardians of the Galaxy films, and once again stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, and the rest of the Guardians crew. It seems like people have somewhat mixed feelings on these films, but I really enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Prior to that first one, I had never heard of these characters, so I went in with very few expectations, but came out really enjoying the array of characters, the great soundtrack, and the humorous tone. I would have been excited for a third film regardless, but I saw the trailer back at Comic-Con last year, and this seems to take everything I liked about the previous films and pairs it with a surprisingly emotional component that I think is gonna work and really enhance what this story is. Closing out May on the 19th is Fast X, or Fast 10. Directed by Louis Leterrier, this is the 10th film in the main Fast and Furious timeline and the 11th overall in the franchise. Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, and most of the rest of the family are back, and I can't wait for this one. This is an absolutely ridiculous franchise, and has been for quite a while now, but I find these movies extremely fun in their absurdity. This 10th film continues the story that F9 left off with, so the characters are still after Cypher, but at this point, it's not the story that's the big draw here. I'm just ready for some more Charger wheelies, and I can't wait to see what they do to one-up the previous film. Next up is Spider-Man Across the SpiderVerse, releasing on June 2nd. Directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson, this is the sequel to 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and also the only animated film to make my anticipated list this year. That first Spider-Verse movie was a huge surprise for me. Leading up to it, I had next to no interest in seeing it, and I didn't even watch it for a few months after it came out, but I eventually did, and was very pleasantly surprised. This film continues to focus on Miles Morales' Spider-Man as he and Gwen Stacy travel through the multiverse and meet the Spider-Force. It looks like we're gonna get some more extremely impressive and creative animation, as well as a bit more multiverse mania. Closing out June on the 30th, we've got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, directed by James Mangold. This 5th Indiana Jones film stars Harrison Ford, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and Mads Mikkelsen, and is the first Indiana Jones film in 15 years. Back when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, I think everybody was surprised to be getting another indie film, with Ford as old as he was back then. So to have a new Indiana Jones movie with him in 2023 is pretty wild. It seems like his age is going to be a part of the plot this time around, and we might be seeing a bit of a sort of passing of the torch idea going on here. This film keeps up with the timeline of the Indiana Jones franchise and is set in the late 60s, focusing on the space race, and of course, Nazis are somehow involved. Who knows how this one will compare to the other 4 films in the franchise, but it's hard not to be excited about another Indiana Jones movie. With a July 14th release date, we've got the only rescheduled carryover from last year's most anticipated list, which itself was a carryover from the previous year's list, Mission Impossible 7, which now has an official name, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Once again directed by Christopher McQuarrie, it follows the continuing missions of spy Ethan Hunt and stars Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, and Simon Pegg. I really enjoy this franchise, and Fallout was one of the best action movies we've had in the last few decades. So much like the other long-running action franchise seeing a return in May, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they manage to one-up themselves here, with both the plot and the action. And my 12th most anticipated movie of 2023 is Oppenheimer, slated for release on July 21st. This movie is directed by Christopher Nolan and stars a very big and notable cast, including people like Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, and Matt Damon. I've been a fan of Christopher Nolan's movies for years. He's probably best known for his mind-bending sci-fi films or for the Batman trilogy, so it's really interesting to see him tackle a biopic here. This movie is going to focus on J. Robert Oppenheimer, who was one of the lead physicists on the Manhattan Project, creating the first atomic bomb. I'm really curious to see which portions of his life this film covers exactly, because he was certainly very affected by the eventual use of his creation, and I'm interested to see if we get to that point in this movie. So there you have it, my 12 most anticipated movies of 2023. Subject to change, of course. I'm sure at least a few of these listed releases will be out of date by the end of the year. But hopefully, all of these 2023 movies will actually stay 2023 movies this year. I'd love to hear what movies you're most looking forward to this year, so be sure to let me know in the comments below. As we move through 2023, I'll be watching and reviewing the movies I mentioned here, so be sure to stop back periodically for those reviews. Also, be on the lookout for my 2022 top 10 list. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insider information out of this anticipated list, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe if you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies. The way life should be.